Hi everyone, and welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. As promised in some of my other videos on collecting, investing, and speculating in the antiques and collectibles trade, I do want to spend some time talking about what's currently transpiring in the secondary market for modern era Lego products. This includes every type of building toy that Lego produces, even the minifigure line, all the licensed properties, the modulars. I'm referring to everything in this video, okay? Since 2012, the Lego secondary market has been under the guise of a massive speculative bubble. A lot of people, myself included, have taken advantage of this and have made significant amounts of money on the secondary market, whether it be buying clearance Lego sets, flipping them on eBay and Amazon, or flat out going directly to the Lego store themselves and buying Ultimate Collector Series sets or modulars and just waiting till Lego does like a promotion where they either give something with the purchase or they do double VIP points or what have you, and buying several of them, waiting for them to be discontinued and then selling them back on the secondary market when demand is at their peak, because Lego is no longer manufacturing those sets in question anymore, okay? This strategy has worked well up until 2015, 2016, okay? Now, you can still do this with some sets. I'm not saying that that strategy is dead. What I am saying, though, is what I think a lot of speculators and unsophisticated investors in this marketplace, they don't realize how much the market has changed since 2015. They also don't realize that Lego itself has changed strategy over how they release, market, and monitor what's occurring on the secondary market. That's key to understanding why, as we enter 2020, this video is being produced in June of 2019. For those of you that see this at a later date, just want to put that out there. That said, what's happening is Lego made several changes to how they market and release sets from 2015 and 2016 later. We can see this clear example is one of the hottest sets on the secondary marketplace used to be the Lego Taj Mahal. Lego Taj Mahal came out, I want to say 2007, 2008 originally. I could have that date wrong. It was an excellent set. It wasn't really part of any line per se, like it wasn't a licensed property, it wasn't really part of the city line. It was just a fabulous set that Lego produced based on the iconic landmark Taj Mahal. Well, when that set was discontinued, the price shot up on the secondary market, and a lot of people missed out on that set because there wasn't as many speculators involved in the Lego secondary market at the time of its release. So the price shot up exponentially to thousands of dollars on the secondary market. So what did Lego do? Lego waited, and finally, a couple of years back, actually it was like 1 or 2 years back, they re-released that particular set again. This angered a lot of the speculators on the secondary market, and if you go to sites like Brick Picker, Toys and Bricks, you can see sometimes in the forums, there's a lot of anger towards Lego for doing this. But what I don't think speculators are understanding, this is how all speculative bubbles play out. You can go back and you can look at Pez collecting in the 1980s was under the guise of a speculative bubble for a lot of the modern pieces. Most of those modern pieces released in the 80s can still be found in distributor warehouses for this day for 25 to 50 cents an item, okay? They were sold at $1 and $1 above at the time that they're released in the 80s, okay? Pogs and Beanie Babies are two other examples, okay? Beanie Babies followed a similar pattern. That said, and I want to put this caution right here because I know some of you are going to either click off the video or leave me an angry comment. I'm obviously standing in a room devoted to Lego. I don't think Lego is going anywhere near where Beanie Babies went, where Pogs went, where Pez dispensers went, or any of those other speculative markets. But what I am saying is, as for the secondary market value of these items, be very careful how you're investing, speculating, and collecting going forward. It used to be when the Lego Star Wars line came out, and this is why I'm showing you part of my Lego Star Wars minifig collection here, which premiered in 1999 to coincide with the release of The Phantom Menace, the first of the prequel movies in the Star Wars universe. It used to be a lofty goal to try to get every single minifigure ever created in the Star Wars line, okay? Today, that has been significantly decreased due to how many different sets Lego is releasing, how many different properties within the Star Wars franchise they're basing sets on. I mean, there's even, like the Battlefront video game, believe it or not, that had Lego sets devoted to it, which I think is ridiculous, okay? The Han Solo movie. The Han Solo movie, I don't want to say it was a failure at the box office, but let's be honest, the Han Solo movie did not do as good as Rogue One, it didn't do as good as The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, and it caused Disney, who now owns the Star Wars franchise, to kind of wake up a little bit and realize that consumers aren't going to go out and see a Star Wars movie every year just because you slapped the name Star Wars on it and you released a mediocre movie at best. I'll be honest, I have yet to see the Han Solo movie. I have no desire to see it. And I love Star Wars, if that tells you anything. So, I think what's happening in the secondary marketplace is Lego is looking at this as the cash cow that it is, and it's starting to say, well, wait a minute. You know, there was a time we only used to release 20 to 30 sets a year based on Star Wars. Why stop there? People are buying this stuff up, and they're buying multiple quantities. Let's release 40 or 50 sets a year based on Star Wars. Let's release, you know, if we're releasing 10 sets based on Harry Potter, let's release 20. If we're releasing, you know, sets based on like movies like the Avengers, the superheroes line, well, instead of releasing 5 sets on Avengers Endgame, let's release 10 or 15. Let's put them out there. They don't have to be spectacular. Because at the end of the day, if you put what do I want to say? A different minifig in each set, and you can only get it in that one set, you know people are going to buy it just to get that so-called rare minifigure, which isn't rare at all because it's in a mass-produced product, but that's a separate video entirely, okay? So I'm creating this video just to bring awareness to what's transpiring in the Lego secondary market in 2019 and how the market has changed dynamics so much since 2015, 2016, and even 2017. And I really caution people from going out there, buying sets at full retail price, thinking they're going to go up in value. That is completely flawed logic. I don't know if you guys, if you follow this market, over the past couple of years, Walmart, Target, a lot of your big retail brick and mortar stores have been clearing Lego sets out for 40, 50% off, even sometimes 60 or 70% off their original retail price because they're not selling. Okay? Lego is also making more quantities of each set than they were in the past. What they're also doing is, for those of you guys that collect the Ultimate Collector Series, or what I call the Lego Store exclusives, okay? Stuff like the Boba Fett Slave One USC set, Ewok Village, stuff of that nature. They're making a lot more of them, and in most cases, not in all, a lot of them have a lot longer shelf life than what they did back in 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, and even 2007. You know, a funny story on this, I knew somebody from the CGC comic collecting forum that literally bought 24, it was over 20, of the original $399 Death Stars that came out for the Lego Star Wars series back in, I think, 2007, 2008. And he thought for sure they were going to discontinue that set within 2 or 3 years, and it was going to shoot up to $800 or $1,000 on the secondary market. Well, he got burned massively because he was storing them in a storage unit. He was paying costs for that. And what happened was Lego re-released the set for $499 6 months to a year after discontinuing the original version. The original version does not sell at a premium on the secondary market Most people want the $499 version because it's actually better designed and it has updated minifigures with it. So there are tales where people are losing money in the Lego secondary market. Another thing I want to caution most people, there's a lot of people that think that they are sophisticated investors because they engage in what's called retail arbitrage. All is what retail arbitrage is. You walk into a Walmart or a Target and you see a Lego set that normally sells for $19.99 and it's on clearance for $9.98, and you decide, crap, that's 50% off. I'm going to buy all of them. So you fill your cart with all these wonderful sets and you wait for them to be discontinued, or you start flipping them on Amazon and eBay because they're selling at a reduced rate from what their retail price is. Well, the problem is not all sets are even selling now that were discontinued, are even selling at what their retail price was back when they were on the market. Some are selling for a lot less. So you have to be really careful what you're speculating on and what you're buying. The set I just showed you here, this actually is a bad investment. I hope you're not buying this to resell. I bought this because I'm opening it up. It's going into parts in my Bricklink store, and that's how I'm going to sell it. Okay, I'm not going to keep it sealed and sell it like that. It would be a bad item to do that on. Okay? Another thing that's happening, there's another area of the market that I want to talk about, and that is what I call not really modern, but not really vintage Lego sets, and what's transpiring with these. I got this graded by AFA, and this is just because I have an emotional attachment to this set. This came out in 2009. It was the 10th anniversary edition of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. This came back a 9.5 out of 10. Very high grade. This was actually pulled from a factory sealed case. This was never on a store shelf. That said, a lot of people claim that there's a large market of collectors that are pursuing this stuff. I kind of disagree with that. Most of the collectors involved in the Lego Star Wars line know that every 2 or 3 years or so, sometimes 4, sometimes 1 year even, Lego re-releases a lot of the vehicles, play sets, and minifigures that they made previously and then discontinued. It's an endless cycle. I've often said this, and I get laughed at sometimes by Lego speculators, but I truly believe the best thing that could happen for people who have mass quantities of Lego Star Wars set is if Disney and Lego ever killed the line and they said, you know what, we're not producing any more Lego Star Wars products. It would cause a massive speculative bubble in those sets, even more than what was occurring between 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, because people would race to get them because they would assume these items are going to have long-term investment appeal. Which brings me to my next point. The people who are paying a premium for discontinued Lego sets on the secondary market, in most cases, these people are going to be very disappointed 10 to 20 years out. Okay? Very few of these sets are going to be what I call long-term growth investments in the antiques and collectibles trade. This is something that a lot of people get wrong when it comes to Lego.